Good afternoon. I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News Now, coming to you with a court hearing that is just underway. I'm going to take you live into the courtroom. This is a case that stems back to a shooting in November of 2017. It happened outside of a liquor store, and across the street was a group of 6 kids who were all hit by bullets. One of them was killed, 12-year-old Abdel Bashidi. And a number of individuals have already made plea deals in this case and are awaiting sentencing. Today, as you're seeing live in court, this is the plea change for Amir Taylor. He is 17 years old, but this is being handled in adult court, which is why we're showing and identifying him. Let's take you into the courtroom.
As follows. Count 1 to be amended to be murder in violation of 2903.02 with underlying 1 and 3-year firearm specifications. Count 1 carrying a possible penalty of 15 to life. However, we will address that momentarily. It's also the state's understanding that the defendant will be pleading to counts 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's 5 counts of attempted murder, felonies of the first degree. The state would move to null the firearm specifications in this matter, and those carry a potential term of 3 to 11 years. It's the state's understanding the defendant will also be pleading guilty to count 8, felonious assault, a felony of the second degree, which carries a possible term of 2 to 8 years. And finally, the defendant will be pleading guilty to count 16, discharge of a firearm on or near prohibited premises. That's a felony of the first degree, which again carries a possible term of 3 to 11 years. There is an agreed range of 18 to 25 to life, Your Honor. There's no agreement on the 18 to 25 portion. That would be determined by this court. So it could be 18 to life, 19 to life, 20 to life, and so on up to 25. And this has been approved by Supervisor Salah Al-Wadal. Thank you.
Thank you. It's my understanding that felonies of the first degree are also punishable by a possible maximum fine of $20,000, and the felonies of the second degree are also punishable by a possible fine of up to $15,000. And in the event the court were to sentence Mr. Taylor in agreement to what counsel has agreed to with regard to the range, that once Mr. Taylor would be released, he'd be subject to a mandatory period of post-release control of 5 years. In the event he would commit an additional felony while on post-release control, he'd be subject to additional incarceration up to 1/2 the original sentence imposed. Not to mention the fact that if he in fact does have a life tail, he could also be ordered to serve additional time pursuant to the life tail. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, just some points of clarification. With regard to count 1, it is subsection B, just so that clarity is made. Additionally, under count 8, the felonious assault, I believe the firearm specifications have been deleted as well.
Is that correct?
That's correct. With count 8 and count 16, Your Honor.
Thank you. So that's 2903.02B on count 1?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do you agree with that, Steve?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. What's the defense position?
Your Honor, that is a correct statement of the plea agreement. We have been provided full discovery. We've taken the time and gone over all the discovery with our client. We've gone over his constitutional rights with him. We believe he will be making a knowing and intelligent waiver of those rights at this juncture.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor, did you understand everything the prosecutors, the court, and your attorney just said?
Yes, Your Honor.
How old are you?
17.
And where were you born?
June 5th, 2002.
No, where?
Cleveland, Ohio.
So you're a United States citizen?
Yes, sir.
What's the highest level of education you've completed?
11th grade.
Are you under the influence of alcohol, medication, or drugs today?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to explain your trial rights to you. I want you to stop me at any time if you don't understand, okay?
Yes, sir.
You have an absolute right to go to trial. At trial, you have the right to confront the witnesses against you through your counsel. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed at no cost to you. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
The burden of proof of trial is on the state alone. In trial, the state must prove beyond a reasonable doubt each and every element of the charges by proof beyond a reasonable doubt, unanimously to a jury of 12 or a judge if you waive a jury. You would have no burden of proof. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
At trial, you present a defense, call witnesses, compel their appearance at trial by subpoena. Testify yourself and tell your own side of the story, or you choose not to testify and the prosecutor cannot comment upon that fact in violation of your Fifth Amendment right. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone threatened or coerced you into making this plea today?
No, Your Honor.
You understand if you plead guilty, you are waiving your trial rights, and obviously you are admitting the truth of the charges to which you are pleading.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then. I plead the charge of murder in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02B, a felony of the first degree, and on that plea on count one, you also admit to a firearm specification of 1 year and 3 years. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I plead the charge of attempted murder in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02A as amended by Ohio Revised Code Section 2923.02, a felony of the first degree, and as part of that plea, the firearm specifications contained therein are dismissed. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I plead the charge of attempted murder in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02A as amended by Ohio Revised Code Section 2923.02. It's charged to count 4 of the indictment. As part of that plea, the firearm specifications of 1 and 3 year are dismissed, and it's a felony of the first degree. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
That same case, I plead the charge of attempted murder in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02A as amended by Ohio Revised Code Section 2923.02, a felony of the first degree with the firearm specifications of 1 and 3 years. Dismissed as stated in count 5 of the indictment. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
In that same case, I plead the charge of attempted murder in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02A as amended by Ohio Revised Code Section 2923.02. It's charged in count 6 of the indictment, a felony of the first degree with the firearm specifications of 1 and 3 year dismissed. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
In that same case, I plead the charge of attempted murder in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02A as amended by Ohio Revised Code Section 2923.02. Felony of the first degree is charged in count 7 of the indictment, and as a result of the plea, the firearm specifications will be dismissed, both of 1 and 3 year. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
In that same case, I plead the charge of felonious assault in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.11A1 is charged in count 8, a felony of the second degree. As a result of this plea, the firearm specifications of 1 and 3 years will be dismissed. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Finally, I plead the charge of discharge of a firearm on or near prohibited premises in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2923.162A3. He's charged in count 16 of the indictment, a felony of the first degree. As a result of this plea, the firearm specifications of 1 and 3 years are dismissed. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
This court makes a factual finding you knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily made this plea, and thus will accept it. In exchange for your plea of guilt to counts 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 16. With the exception of count 1, all the firearm specifications and all other counts are now dismissed in their entirety against you. Counsel, you satisfied the court has complied with Criminal Rule 11?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And you said that you wanted a
Yes, Your Honor, we'd like a referral to the court psychiatric clinic for a mitigation of penalty report.
for court psychiatric report, as well as a PSI sentencing date.
October 9th at 10 a.m.
That's what we'll set it for now, and if it needs more time, let us know.
Thank you, Judge.
Sure.
Dan DeRose with 19 News Now. They're discussing what's known as a pre-sentencing investigation, potential psychological evaluation that they would like done on this 17-year-old. You're hearing that correct. This was a murder. It was a shootout at a liquor store on Buckeye Avenue here in Cleveland back in November of 2017. There was some sort of beef and gunfire started, and it was bullets that hit the 5 juveniles. As we see Amir Taylor being taken out of court. There were 5 juveniles who were across the street. They were helping their father close up a beauty supply store. And as they were, there was one round of gunfire, and the individuals came out of that. They thought the shooting was over. The young kids who were at the beauty supply store thought it was over. They came out to see what had happened. That's when a second round of gunfire started. A number of the kids were hit, 6 total. One of them was killed. We've been showing you the pictures of 12-year-old Abdel Bashidi. I had the opportunity to speak with Abdel's family in the days after that shooting, and we're going to play you that story of just how tough this situation was for them. A young man just trying to help his father close up his store for the evening and was killed. Take a look at the story that I filed just shortly after the murder back in November of 2017.
They're taking it hard. They're taking it hard. They're still in disbelief.
Khalil Dari has known the Bashidi family for years. His 3 sons are friends with and went to school with 12-year-old Abdel Bashidi.
My sons are taking it hard because they're thinking everybody's on Thanksgiving break and they're starting school back again, but he's not going to be there.
Dari tells us Abdel was waiting for his father to close up their beauty supply store on East 116th and Buckeye Friday night when the first round of shots rang out at a nearby liquor store. Abdel went outside when they thought the shooting was over.
They heard it. His dad chased after him to go see, to get back inside, and tragically.
The stray bullet that hit Abdel went through his wrist and then into his side. He would die inside his father's store. Dari's 10-year-old son was good friends with Abdel and is now questioning why.
Now he's just like asking why. Why? You're supposed to get old then die. They don't understand it yet. I don't think they understand it, the kids.
Dari and Omar Salti are a part of a group of young Middle Eastern men called Hachi Fadi, who raise money for different causes. In the first 24 hours, they've raised more than $11,000 for the Bashidi family.
Our concern was just to help the family out. We knew that the money is not going to bring the kid back, but whatever we could do to help the family was what was important to us.
Again, that was back in 2017, and we heard that a lot. We're looking live back inside the courtroom. We're trying to make sure that they have adjourned, that this wasn't just part of a post sort of a conference that the defense attorneys are taking with their client. I believe that it has concluded, but we're going to stay with this just for the time being. There are a number of individuals who have already done the same thing that we saw Amir Taylor just do, which is change his plea. We know that Larissa Harris has already pleaded guilty to several charges, including involuntary manslaughter, attempted murder, and felonious assault. There is also Darshawn Shields in this case, who has also pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter and felony assault. Both of those were set for sentencing at a later date. In some cases, we get a plea change and a sentencing in one fell swoop. But that doesn't appear to be the case here. We heard the judge, the defense, ask for a pre-sentence investigation, which would include a psychological evaluation. That is standard, especially when we are dealing with a 17-year-old juvenile. But that really is something that is done in all of these cases. We heard that on the first charge, murder, could bring, with a gun specification, could bring 15 years to life. And then there were 4 attempted murder charges that he pleaded guilty to, 1 felony assault charge, and 1 discharging of a firearm in a restricted area. We're going to wrap this up. We do have more coming up on this case and all the day's news in an hour and 15 minutes on our news at 4 o'clock. But again, this has been a change of plea for yet another individual involved in that November 2017 shootout on Buckeye Avenue in Cleveland that hit 6 kids that were bystanders. One of those children died, Abdel Bashidi, just 12 years old. We're going to wrap up our conclusion of this hearing. If we have any other breaking news, we're going to bring it to you here on all of our digital platforms. I'm Dan DeRosa. I hope you have a good afternoon.
19 News. First, fair, everywhere.